Mehmed the Conqueror vs Vlad the Impaler. In 1453, Mehmed II conquered Constantinople, completing his life goal, solidifying his rule and effectively ending the Byzantine Empire. He also converted the Hagia Sophia into a mosque. So what should Mehmed the Conqueror do now? Well, there is only one thing a conqueror should do. Conquer more. But trouble was brewing in a place called Wallachia, because of a man named Vlad the Impaler, or Vlad the Impaler, also known as the one, the only, Dracula. Dracula means son of the dragon. Vlad III's father was named Vlad II Dracul, meaning Vlad the Dragon, a name bestowed upon him because of his oath to the Christian order known as the Order of the Dragon. This caused a conflict of interest with Sultan Murad II, who arranged a meeting with Vlad Dracul, which happened to be a trap to capture the Wallachian Voivode. Vlad was forced to swear upon the Holy Bible and the Quran that he would take no further actions against the Ottoman Empire. Vlad the Dragon was accompanied by two sons, Vlad Dracula, who was about 12 years old at the time, and Radu, who was about 7 years old and was said to be no taller than a vase of flowers. The Sultan forced Vlad II to leave the sons in Ottoman custody. This was to ensure that Vlad the Dragon would stay true to the terms. While in Ottoman custody, the boys received the education under the best scholars the Ottoman Empire had to offer, like Kurdish philosopher Ahmed Gurani, even learning alongside future Sultan Mehmed II. Young Vlad, however, was considered a difficult child. He had a temper and would act in a manner that would earn him the whip. Radu, on the other hand, was well-mannered and well-liked. His good looks attracted many ladies and earned him the title Radu the Handsome. So now let us fast forward a bit. Vlad the Impaler is the Voivode of Wallachia. Vlad secured his place on the throne by killing, or impaling, anyone who posed a threat to his authority. Vlad was tasked with paying annual tribute to the Ottoman Empire for the amount of 10,000 ducats. However, Vlad had not paid for 3 years and owed a sum of 30,000 ducats to Sultan Mehmed II. When Ottoman envoys were sent to Wallachia to collect payment, Vlad had refused to pay. According to multiple accounts, Vlad had asked the Ottomans to remove their turbans. Upon their refusal of his request, Vlad nailed their turbans to their head as, what he considered, a means to strengthen their religious resolve. Mehmed II devised a plan to have his men meet Vlad at the Georgia fortress, kidnap him, and bring him to Constantinople. Vlad learned of this plan, disguised himself as an Ottoman officer, and, speaking perfect Turkish, was allowed to enter the fortress. This made it easy for Vlad to ambush and arrest the men tasked with his kidnapping. After his success, and due to Mehmed being occupied elsewhere, Vlad continued his path of destruction across the bordering area of the Ottoman Empire. Mehmed II decided to send troops to destroy the port of Brela. Vlad was able to stop Mehmed II's plan and repel the Ottoman forces. It is said that only 8,000 Ottoman troops survived the battle. This was the last straw for Mehmed II. He cancelled his ongoing siege of Corinth and shifted to a full-scale invasion of Wallachia. Mehmed II arrived with a force numbering around 150,000 troops at his disposal. Vlad only had roughly 30,000 troops. Vlad was able to overcome this by using methods like guerrilla warfare, pupat, strategic retreat. Pupat. Vlad also used a strategy known as scorched earth. destroying everything in his path and draining the Ottoman forces of much needed supplies. The Ottoman forces reached Targoviste, and made camp. During the night, Vlad located Sultan Mehmed II's tent. His plan was to move in swiftly and assassinate the Sultan. Vlad nearly succeeded, but fortunately for Mehmed, Janissaries were able to protect the Sultan, and Vlad fled into the night. Mehmed II and his army decided to leave Wallachia, and Vlad would continue his night attacks on them as they left. However, all was not lost for Mehmed II. Instead of beating Vlad the Impaler by force, Mehmed II backed Vlad's brother Radu the Handsome, installing a new voivode of Wallachia that would be friendly toward the Ottoman Empire. Vlad was forced to flee Wallachia and was later imprisoned in Hungary. The end.